Every single night, without asking your permission, your brain builds an entire movie. Characters you've never met, places that don't exist. Sometimes you're flying, sometimes you're being chased by something you can't quite see. And then you wake up and it's gone, mostly, like smoke you tried to hold on to. You've done this every night of your life. So has every human who has ever lived. And after thousands of years of trying, science still doesn't fully agree on why. Let's start 4,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. The Sumerians didn't think dreams came from inside you. They thought dreams came from somewhere else entirely, somewhere divine. Kings would sleep inside temples specifically to receive messages while unconscious, a practice called incubation. It wasn't superstition to them, it was communication. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest stories ever written, the hero's dreams are treated as warnings from the gods, decoded by his own mother, who reads falling axes and strange visitors as signs of what's about to happen in his waking life. Go to ancient Egypt, and the pattern repeats. By 2000 BCE, there were professional dream interpreters working inside temples, advising pharaohs, treating dreaming as a serious, structured discipline. Entire manuals existed, cataloging hundreds of dream scenarios and what each one supposedly meant. Why would two completely separate civilizations with no contact between them independently decide that dreams mattered this much? Because dreams don't feel random. Even now, even to you, they feel like they're trying to tell you something. That feeling hasn't gone away in 4,000 years, even as the explanations have changed completely. Fast forward to 1900, Sigmund Freud publishes The Interpretation of Dreams, and the theory shifts. No more gods. Now dreams come from inside you, specifically from the parts of you that you've locked away. Freud believed dreaming was the mind's way of processing repressed desires, fears, and conflicts too uncomfortable to face while awake. Your unconscious, finally unsupervised, says what it actually wants. That idea shaped an entire century of psychology, but it wasn't built on hard biological evidence. It was built on interpretation, and science eventually wanted proof. That proof started arriving in the 1970s when two Harvard psychiatrists, Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley, looked directly at what the brain does during REM sleep. What they found challenged Freud completely. Their activation synthesis hypothesis argued that dreams aren't hidden messages at all. They're your brain's attempt to make sense of random electrical signals firing during sleep. No secret wish, no symbolism, just neurons firing and your mind, desperate for a narrative, stitching those random signals into something that feels like a story. Under this theory, dreaming isn't mystical. It's your brain doing what it always does, finding patterns, even when there isn't one to find. Hobson didn't stop there either. He later expanded the idea into what's called the AIM model, looking at how brain activation, sensory input being shut off, and shifting brain chemistry combine to produce the strange, disjointed quality of dreams. It's a very different picture from Freud's hidden desires. Under this model, the bizarre plot twists in your dreams, the way a familiar face suddenly becomes a stranger, the way rooms shift shape mid-scene, aren't secret symbols at all. They're just what happens when a story-generating brain is working with scrambled, half-random input and doing its best to keep the narrative moving anyway. But that's not the end of the story either, because if dreams are just noise, why do they follow such consistent patterns across almost every human being on Earth? Here's where it gets interesting. Roughly 70% of dreams contain some kind of threat, being chased, falling, losing control of something important. Finnish psychologist Antti Revonsu proposed an explanation that sounds almost too simple to be true. He called it threat simulation theory. The idea is that dreaming evolved as a survival mechanism, a virtual rehearsal space where your ancestors could practice responding to danger without any real risk. Think about what that means. Every nightmare where you're running from something might not be a malfunction. It might be a training exercise your brain has been running since before recorded history, refining your fear responses in a space where failure costs nothing. There's biology backing this up. During REM sleep, your amygdala, the brain's fear and emotion center, stays highly active. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and impulse control, quiets down significantly. That combination explains a lot. It's why dream logic feels so strange while you're inside it, and so obviously broken the moment you wake up. You're running on raw emotion with almost no rational filter standing in the way. So, which explanation is right? The ancient civilizations who thought dreams were messages from beyond? Freud, who thought they were confessions from your own hidden mind? Or the modern neuroscientists who think they're either meaningless noise or ancient danger drills? The uncomfortable answer is that no single theory has won. Modern brain imaging shows dreaming activates the same default mode network involved in daydreaming and self-reflection while you're awake, suggesting dreams might serve several overlapping purposes at once. Emotional processing, memory consolidation, threat rehearsal, maybe even something we haven't identified yet. What hasn't changed across 4,000 years and dozens of competing theories is the sheer fact that dreaming refuses to stop. Every culture in recorded history has taken it seriously. Every scientific era has tried to explain it and only partially succeeded. That's rare. Most mysteries eventually get solved. This one just keeps growing new branches the closer science looks. So, tonight, when you close your eyes and your brain starts building a story you never asked for, remember this. Sumerian kings once slept in temples chasing exactly the same experience you're about to have for free. Freud built a career trying to decode it. Harvard scientists spent decades arguing it means nothing at all. And somewhere in the middle of all of that disagreement is you, about to dream again, joining a mystery that humanity still hasn't solved.